Today I'm with Morgan, and she is going to tell me her thoughts on legalization of marijuana. Morgan, thank you for coming and talking with me today. I appreciate you taking time out of your day. So first off, I want to just ask you, tell me your thoughts on the legalization of marijuana.
Well, first of all, I am for it for a few reasons, some of which are just the amount of money that's being put into prosecuting and keeping people in jail for what could be a misdemeanor. Also, the revenue the United States could get for taxing it, and just based on like cigarettes and other drugs, liquor, and alcohol, different alcohols on the market, it's really not as it doesn't have as many harmful effects as some other drugs, especially cigarettes, and those are legal and taxed, and the United States can make money off of them. So I don't understand why marijuana cannot be used the same way.
Okay. So tell me how you think the economy will improve if we legalize marijuana.
Well, I don't know like specifics. However, there have been different studies done on how much it could improve and minimize our national debt. So just overall, because it would keep it within the United States. I know right now a lot of it is like drug lords from like Mexico coming over and bringing it, or from other countries. And as we've seen in Colorado, it works just fine. So,
So what I think I hear you saying is that with the legalization of marijuana, the crime rate will decrease if we legalize it? Is that what I...
Yeah, that would be, I think that's definitely one effect of legalizing it, especially in that southwest region of the United States where there's a lot of issues with crossing the border.
Okay. And is that in terms of then crossing over to the court, financials and responsibility with the prosecution? Is that correct?
Yeah, all of it. I think that if it wasn't illegal, it wouldn't have to be dealt on the black market. It could be in your local drugstore, and so then it's not deals being made in shady alleyways. It's just someone buying it at a point of sale, and it there's clearer ways on like what's illegal, what's legal. It would be a lot more obvious instead of kind of people not wondering, especially now with some places it's legal, some places it's not. There's this issue of federal versus state law. So I think all around it could be standardized, and that would help, like you said, courts, like policing and crime and everything.
Okay. So what I hear you saying is that creating a universal decision for it all being legalized in the United States would create an equal foundation and then would stabilize other aspects of crime and court. Is that correct?
Yes, that's pretty much what I was saying. Yeah.
Okay. So tell me then, what do you think? How do you think this will affect teens and underage buying and using their access to it versus when it's illegal or when it's legal?
I think that's a little hard to say, but I suppose if you looked at maybe like cigarettes or alcohol, you do see underage usage, but there's very, like, you're under 21, if you're caught drinking, it's illegal. Like, there's very clear, and like if you're under 18, you can't buy tobacco. So it's clear, it's cut and dry. It's not like so many ounces or so much, or you're 16, you're 18, whatever. It's like, this is legal for you, this is not for you.
Okay. And how do you think they would be able to monitor that with intake or excessive intake for, I know it's not technically, you can't get overdose on it, but how do you think that would affect?
I think there's still a lot of work to be done on that, because there aren't, I know there's like hair sampling or like doing like pee tests and stuff. Like, there's ways of testing it, but there isn't like a readily way of doing it like you would like breathalyze if you were drunk. But so I think that is one area that needs to be improved in order to make it a cop be able to go up to someone, and if they suspect that they're using marijuana and they're underage, if there is eventually an underage for usage, and then that way they can monitor based on, like, you have so much, like, up to this point you can't drive a car, up to this point you can't do this, something else. So I still think that needs work, though.
Okay. So what do you think that marijuana is a safe drug to use? In because I guess similar to alcohol, the effects that it can have on your body. Do you think legalizing it will create a universal measure on keeping everybody in similar terms of how it'll affect them?
Yeah, I think that if it's legal, it'll be like more obvious of knowing, like, .08, you're that's above the legal limit for drinking. You'll know like what's legal, what's not. People have a clear understanding, because I think right now there's a lot of misconception and people don't understand enough about it, and so they may use it improperly or be too young. So I think if there's more standardization, there'll be a more like widely known. It'll just be more understood, I think.
Okay, so just creating a universal sense of understanding, and by doing this, the country will be able to put the limits on it, and will be able to address the topic as it comes when it's legalized with direct and certain measures.
Yeah, I think now there's a lot of question about, like, cops don't really know it's illegal to have it at all, but there's all kinds of new laws being passed, and I think it's getting a little muddled. People don't totally understand, is it totally illegal? Can you have a little bit? How, like, if you're a minor, if you're not, like, I think there's still a lot of confusion, and I think that legalizing it will solve some of that, so then all the effects that come off of it can then be more easily solved, because people will have that base to work off of.
Okay. Now, do you believe that, or what are your thoughts on if marijuana is legalized, where it would go in terms of other drugs?
I think that is always something to worry about, because some people have said, like, oh, it's a gateway drug or whatever, but, there's still cigarettes. I still think that, the, like, use of tobacco and the use of drugs, I don't necessarily think that. I think if people see it as legal, it'll be seen as, like, right now it's illegal, and it's just in the realm of illegal drugs, and I think if marijuana is made legal, which people have said marijuana is more benign than some of the other ones, so if there's a clear cut between, okay, cigarettes and marijuana are legal, and cocaine, meth, whatever, are not, then maybe there'll be a bigger understanding of these are very harmful, and this one, like alcohol, you can obviously have an excess of it, but like a little isn't terrible as long as you're using it appropriately and everything. I think it'll then even make the gap. It could make the gap even bigger. There's always potential for issues, but
okay. So what I hear you saying overall is that legalization of marijuana will create a sense of a better communication within our country. It will create standard measures of the court system and the police with how they react and judge certain cases of marijuana and intake with each person. It will reduce the amount of crime, particularly in the southwest region of the states, I believe you said, and that it will keep everything in stores and away from the black market. Does that all sound correct to you?
Yep.
Okay, great. Do you have anything else to add?
Nope, I think that's all.
Well, thank you for coming, Morgan. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to do this for me.